This week's episode of the award-winning Here For It podcast.
I was there.
Were you?
The ghetto.
I mean, like, physical presence don't mean shit. This week's episode of the award-winning Here For It podcast is brought to you by Reinforced Doors.
Vagina rejuvenation.
That's for you. That's not for them.
Yeah.
Miss Kick Down Your Door and Smack Your Chick.
Gonica jumped out.
Is coming for us. And we don't know what it is yet. She dropped the album back on the 5th of 40 songs that were more vibey.
She did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Get into it.
I'm Googling now.
Back on the 5th, that was more vibey, more Solange.
Uh-huh.
But the pictures that she's posted to Instagram over the last 48 hours do not sync up to that. So a lot of people are speculating that it's a video or a new musical project because maybe the old musical project was recorded when she was married and now she is about to be divorced.
Okay.
And we know what kind of music the 90s R&B queens give when they are divorced.
Get the strap.
Yeah. And we know she has several. But in the pictures that she posted to Instagram, she has a short pixie cut again, typical Monica, but she's also in a orange jumpsuit, leaving the prison and about to be released.
Leaving the prison? You should have known. That's a should have known better when she had
No, this is a
guy
kick down.
from G Unit.
This is a
video.
kick down your door and smack your chick outfit because she got charges for this.
Ooh.
But I'm excited because I like the music that comes out of divorce and pain from these women.
Except for Keisha Cole. Oh my gosh.
And K Michelle.
Oh.
But Gonica, again, like I said, has announced that she's about to kick somebody's door down, and I'm absolutely here for it. Welcome to this week's episode of Here For It podcast. I am the Superman, TheeSupaman, BKA, the one verified on Jacked, AKA, oh shit, that was my AKA Superman the Teenage Witch.
My name is Ronald Matters. Follow me on the internet at Ronald Matters and of course RonaldMatters.com. And I guess I actually will be the bottom reform girl because Kim Kardashian is going to law school. No. Kanye had leaked the news 6 months ago, but then she was like, I guess I can go do y'all little bar exam. I was like, yes, I do it too. How you doing, Wendy?
And we have a special guest in the building. I would like for him to introduce himself. His name is Mr. Ian Haddock.
Yes. I'm Ian L. Haddock. I am the executive director of the Normal Anomaly Initiative. I also have my own podcast. It's Dick in the Box podcast.
Ow, put it in there.
Yes. And finally, I happen to be Impulse Group Houston's vice president. So you can follow me on the Normal Anomaly, everything, and you can look for anything Ian L. Haddock on thenormalanomaly.com.
Wow. Dick in the Box. So how'd you come up with that?
So sex is a natural part of life. Sex
Lies.
is a natural part.
No.
Except for you, maybe, because maybe you're not having sex.
Uh-oh.
Right?
Abstinence.
Okay, right. Abstinence only, right? I am in Texas. We do believe that.
I had a lot of sex in Texas and a lot of exes in Texas.
Oh, okay.
Hey, turn up.
So originally we wanted to talk about like sex and sexuality. We have 2 boxes, 2 females. They're lesbian identifying, 1 masculine, 1 feminine. We have 2 sort of masculine identifying gay men on there, and we used to talk all things sex, but we're going through a bit of a rebrand, so follow us to see what that looks like.
We can't wait to see. Dick in the Box, you guys. Check it out on SoundCloud, on iTunes.
Because I don't know where it's
Yeah, so it's
I watch it on Facebook.
So yeah, we do it live on Facebook actually.
Okay.
You can go on Dick in the Box, The Normal Anomaly, or my page, Ian L. Haddock. But we're also found on any place you can stream except for SoundCloud.
Oh. I don't know. I really enjoy, this is going to be shade to myself because I really enjoy watching y'all on Facebook. And so I know that other girls want us to get into video content. I'm like, but I don't know. Because you got to be dressed to the nine every week, and the girls going to know that you wore that shirt 2 Wednesdays ago. And I just be like, I don't got time.
But the thing is, y'all have an excellent way of marketing, right? Y'all are award winning.
Oh, here we
I'm
go.
award winning, but not for the podcast. So, so it's sickening that y'all are award winning for your podcast. So obviously, what y'all are doing is working. We're just going a different route, and I think that there is space for us all to.
And we love you.
Yeah.
Yes, we love
Thank
everybody.
You. Yeah.
Absolutely. Opulence.
Opulent.
Our icebreaker this week is The Gay Point of View is Coming to TV, a series where 4 LGBT influencers talk about pop culture topics and give you a peek into our world and perspective. Starring and you, preposterous. We have 2 seats to fill. And we're also going to give Ian 2 seats to fill as well for his show.
Okay.
So think of it like The View and The Talk, just with less tears and no Meghan McCain's. Who are we going to put in these 2 seats? Because this show needs to happen, and I need a pitch today.
There's a person named It's Carrie, ITSKARY on Twitter. He is very good all the time. And I want the person who today on Twitter there was a thread. It says Farrah is luggage, a thread, and it was every time Farrah was dressed and she looked like somebody could have. It's better for you to go home and somebody can send you your luggage. I don't know who posted that tweet, but whoever that is brilliance, and I want that person on my show.
Hopefully they're LGBT as
yes,
well.
definitely.
Again,
Yeah.
We want LGBT influencers.
I don't know what his name was.
Okay. I know we need a comedian.
Okay.
Because all these shows, that's the strategy, the ingredient is have a comedian. That way they can say the spicy shit and be like, I'm a comedian. I say it because I'm a comedian. So, my favorite comedian, my favorite LGBT comedian definitely is Samson. If you do not know his work, go check him out. Go see him. Again, like I've said on multiple other platforms, beautiful personality, great comedy, and beautiful ass. So I know he's going to bring the fashions, and he's going to bring the slick talk that we want from a comedian. And I also would like to pick Tatiana from RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh, we got budgets. Oh. Woo. I ain't never had a budget. I'm picking girls from Twitter.
See, you're thinking low. I'm
thinking season 1. I need enough money to get my season 1 wig. I don't want my season 1 wig to be too bad, but you just
it's gonna be bad. Don't worry about it.
If we got a girl who wear wigs every day, she like, bitch, you need wigs by Vanity Girl.
She's got wigs. That's the point. She can help you with your wig.
Thank you. Gosh, you ain't helping.
Well,
Ian,
it's not much help I can get. But again, like I said, I want it to be a rainbow. If we did something like that, it should be men that look like Ronald, men that look like me, men that look like Samson, and then someone in the drag or trans sphere that looks like Tatiana that can speak from those perspectives that we don't get to hear from unless they're on Drag Race. So
the truth jumped out. I was just acknowledging it.
It's been out here.
I received the message.
I just unhid the writing. But we need that visibility, and we need to hear from those types of people and those types of stories. Ian, what you got?
So I would go with Moses By. He's a social influencer on Instagram.
I love him.
Amazing. He's also from Dallas, Texas. So love him. Yeah, I love Moses. I think he would bring like a softer side because I'm super aggressive. So I think that would be dope. And then the second person, I'm conflicted because I was going to say someone we talked about pre-show. But I think I would go to Porn Boy PGH. Porn Boy Boots. So he is super popular.
Is he in the pig community? Huh? He's in the pig community?
No, he's not.
What's PGH mean?
I think that is what they call the area of the world he lives in.
Oh, Pittsburgh. Because Sharon Needles adds PGH to her social media stuff, but it's because she's from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think he is from Pittsburgh. He does a lot of public play. What's really interesting is I think that he is a dope fiend. I think that he
addiction. It's in the community.
Well, we just talked about where dope fiend came from. It's because they like dopamine, okay?
Yeah.
So I think he's a dope fiend, and he is...
Oh, he has videos. Oh,
Yeah, he has a lot of videos. He does a lot of public play, but recently he's been having sex with a lot of homeless people. I would just like to have him on that because he would be my Wendy in her situation right now.
We're going to get there.
He has videos.
Yeah, well, we'll put a pin in that. So that is our cast members for the gay point of view. If you guys have some recommendations, I'm trying to get this pitch together so I can write ABC so we can replace some of the other
Let's not write
roles.
ABC. Let's write HBO.
See, you said we were starting at season 1. We're gonna write ABC first, and then we're gonna get HBO to buy us out. Let's work on that. The word of the day this week is queening. Queening, Queening.
It's anti-fam. Here we go. Come on.
No, it's femme positive.
Okay, let me hear it.
Also known as face sitting.
Oh.
This act involves a person who consensually forces another person into mouth to genital or mouth to anal contact. So that means, I like your mouth, sir. Those are some beautiful lips. I'm
That beard is nice.
I'm about to put my face on it. I'm about to put my ass on it.
Here we go. Thank you. Yes, the magic word.
Woo.
Woo.
So queening also comes with a level of consent.
I hate that.
You hate a level? Me too. Please do not listen to that part of this episode. We're sorry for that. But it does come with a level of consent, so this should be someone that you are dating or partnered with that you know would be okay with you putting your genitalia on their face, specifically your ass on their face or your vagina if you happen to have one in your listening.
First of all, how I get my whole ass on your face and you like, I think we should slow down. How did we... Sir, you pretending. Shut up.
Well, he might.
Open your mouth.
He might smell or taste something, and that's why he said we need to slow down.
Pull that tongue out.
Didn't you say you have extra dishwater?
Oh! Exposed.
Wow. So going ass to mouth.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you.
With the aggression of someone that is a queen. Queening. The word of the day. WERD. So thank you so much to our listeners. You guys have been listening to us for 2 whole years. These 2 homos would like to specifically thank you for subscribing, for liking, for sharing, for commenting, for implementing things that we talked about in your life. I met 2 young men this weekend that talked about them learning about and being on prep because of things that we've talked about on this platform. So thank you guys so much. This podcast is not for the free.
It's not?
If you would like to support this podcast, please get over to our Patreon right now, and at least for $1 a month, you can support this podcast continuing. We would greatly appreciate it. If you do not have $1 a month, make sure you at least share the podcast with your community, on your timelines. Comment about something that you liked or you didn't like or you learned or any of the above. Or go over to our iTunes and give us a 5-star review because this is a 5-star podcast.
Oh, is it? Do you listen every week? The mess you be talking about? Ooh.
Bitch, I write every week, so I know it's a 5-star podcast. Our affirmations this week is dominance. Like opulence, but not. Dominance.
We're dominating the dance floor now.
Oh, yeah.
Dominating these trophy cases. Why yours empty and mine's full? Come on out.
Okay. So last week we talked about Beyonce's dominance to exhaust. And I would like you guys to remember your own dominance. You are not made to be feeble. Aggressively, unapologetically take the wheel of your own destiny. Dominance is a sign of assured, positive energy. Interject that into your work and your love life, and you will be dominant.
Ian, is it the truth or is he making this up?
It's amazing.
Be dominant, y'all. Our topic. I believe that.
That was a joke.
Queening. Queening right here.
Tepid topics. Here we go.
Our tepid topics. First this week, Wendy Williams has finally filed for divorce from her husband.
He drove me to a sober house.
Alexa.
Huh?
Play I'm Single Again.
Back on the prowl.
I'm back on the prowl.
Thought it was perfect. but I don't know how.
Okay. She don't know how either. And she has finally filed for this divorce.
22 years?
I'm glad that she made this step, and I'm glad that
22
she
years.
is acknowledging it publicly because we've been talking about it for weeks now that she's not, when she always has found ways to talk about everybody else's business publicly except her own.
Why is everybody so upset about that, though? Like, I mean, it's her job. Like, why is everybody so upset that she dogs people out, but she doesn't want to dog herself out? I mean, wouldn't that be your natural inclination if that was your job to dog people out?
Yeah, not dog yourself out, but take control of your own narrative. So if I'm breaking up with my boyfriend this weekend, it's not that we breaking up because he don't like me. It's when I get on the show, it's we breaking up because he ain't shit. He wasn't right for me. The nigga pissed on the toilet all the time, and he didn't pay rent. I take control of my own narrative.
Yeah, but I don't. In my opinion, I don't know if it's taking control of your own narrative. If your job is to gossip about people, you wouldn't necessarily want that same thing to happen to yourself. That would be controlling your narrative to me.
But she hasn't been controlling her narrative, and that's why everybody's been talking about it for
Love B.
all
Scott
year.
been talking about it. Page 6 been talking about it.
No, they've been wearing her out.
So it was really interesting to me that she records 2 shows on Thursdays. You know, I've been watching for a whole 10 years now. That's my fave. So they record 2 shows on Thursday, the Thursday show and the Friday show. So around the time of day, around 1:30, 2:30-ish, it was announced that Wendy is getting her divorce. So she knows that y'all are going to tune into Friday's show to see if she addresses it. But what a lot of people don't know is that she records 2 shows on Thursday. So there was no mention going to be happening on Friday's episode. So she's a media girl. She knows how to dominate, get my viewers up for Friday.
Dominance.
And then so on Monday, when she came and sat down in the chair, she said, well, you know, it's just so weird, you know, when you do the hot topics and you are the hot topic. I just want you guys to know that me and my son and our future and being in this sober house helped clear everything up for me. Anything that was in my way, I now have the vision of a LASIK girl with no procedure.
The vision of love.
So, but then she didn't say the word divorce. She did not mention the word Kevin Sr. You know, she used to say Big Kev, Little Kev. She did not say Big Kev. And so she's still controlling her narrative because now, as a blogger girl, I get to go and say she addressed the divorce by mentioning her future with her and her son with no mention of her future with Big Kev. And then she mentioned how everything that was cloudy for her is now clear. So, she addressed the divorce, but she didn't really say divorce. And so, bitch, no. Call us by our name. Our name is divorce.
Well, she did that by filing for it. So, she called that name. She 911. I have an emergency.
Right.
I need to be divorced from this nigga.
Irreconcilable differences.
Yeah, he got a baby right now. Irreconcilable. We can't reconcile this. I think that she needs to cancel her current show because he's an executive.
It's the number one.
It's the number one show because of what? Because Wendy's on it.
First and foremost, now I don't give a shit about having an EP or DP or Tree P. Girl, when I get up here on this camera and I perform, I'm me. Yeah. My performance. And my name on the moniker every day. My picture outside across the street from the studio. I have to go on tour and hug babies and sign purses. And girl, what is this? I don't even know you. Also, you like me now because I have a show? Get out my face. I am doing that. Yeah. So just because Keith or Jerron or Leroy or Ernest, we can write you out the show. They do it every week.
Ernest, get the lube because you gotta go. But that's the point. When you divorce someone in marriage, you need to divorce them in a whole bunch of other arenas. And so going to the current show where he's an executive producer, and I'm sure he's gonna fight for that executive producership, she's gonna have to continue to deal with him and deal with his negative energy and deal with
possibly cut him a check.
She's going to definitely have to cut him a check. But that's how you divorce someone. You say, okay, bitch, you want $2 million? Cool. Take the $2 million. You go the fuck on away from me. That's divorce.
Okay.
That's how you divorce somebody.
That's your divorce.
That's That's what the definition of divorce is.
That's your
You gotta
divorce.
cut. I'm cutting this off of my life.
There have been people who've gotten divorced and still stayed in the same house together and slept in the same bed. It's just like, girl, on paper.
Then they didn't divorce them,
Or they
didn't.
wait on their lease to be up. Well, not that Wendy and Kevin have to wait for the lease to be up.
That's the point. She has a position of privilege where she has enough money that she does not need to depend on him, does not ever need to see him again in life. That is how you divorce someone. You don't divorce someone just in the marriage of I'm going to the court and the court said we divorced, but I got to come to work and see you every day.
But I think that there's a difference, though they do have a very interesting relationship. I think there's a difference in needing to divorce someone personally and having to divorce someone professionally, because I think, especially as it relates to like LGBT folks, right, it's almost impossible to completely divorce someone that you've worked closely with professionally, like, versus personally. So like, I'm used to working with people that I don't want to be around. I've been hurt by, right? So I don't think it should be any difference for her. She has the #1 show, so bitch, show up, do your motherfucking work, pay whoever you need to pay, and keep on going. Don't talk to her.
Yeah, the difference is we don't have the privilege that she does. If I had $20 million, no, the fuck I would not work with bitches I don't like. No, I would not. I would be like, I have $20 million.
It's expensive.
The difference is Wendy has a name outside of Wendy Williams. Wendy, the brand, can continue without being Wendy Williams, just like, not like Beyonce.
Woo!
Just like Ricky. Let's do that. Ricky Lake. Ricky Lake is her name, but people, it's the Ricky Show.
Go Ricky. Go
Just
Ricky.
like Jerry. Jerry Springer is his name, but it's the Jerry Show. It doesn't necessarily have to be the Wendy Williams Show, because every time she look at the name Williams, that might be a goddamn trigger.
But Wendy Williams is her maiden. They also have the Hunter Foundation.
The Hunters.
So are they breaking up the Hunter Foundation?
She could, but that's what I'm saying. That's the point of
Because
privilege.
that's what she used as her platform to launch her Be Here Now campaign, and talking about substance abuse. So Wendy Williams is her maiden, and Wendy Hunter is her married. So I don't know. I'm just gonna wait and see.
We shall see. Congratulations, Wendy.
Yeah, congratulations on your freedom. If you feel like you need this, congratulations to you for taking those
She's
steps.
gonna be back.
To freedom. The Church of Latter-day Saints has announced that they are adjusting their bylaws to include LGBT people more by allowing them and their kids membership and to be baptized in the church. The Church of Latter-day Saints, aka the Mormons.
I love their porn videos. Mormon boys on Pornhub.
Ugh.
But I'm into like bears and stuff, so you're not.
But it's also white.
I'm into. Are you yucking my yum? Wow. Oh,
I
here we
didn't say
go. I learned this quote from you. Don't yuck somebody else's yum. It's yummy to me. Hello.
I'm glad that you found that yummy. That's beautiful.
Fuck you too.
That's beautiful.
Fuck you too.
So while I do think it is a great move for inclusivity, I think it's also important to note that it's still a sin in the Church of Latter-day Saints. Inclusion is not the same thing as acceptance or allyship, let alone being an accomplice, like we've talked about on this show before. I am looking for accomplices in the LGBT movement, and I'm looking to be an accomplice to anyone that is disadvantaged. Allyship and inclusion, that's old. We've been working
That's
towards
so
that for a
sweet.
while. Right, it's so sweet.
Get out
Because
of my face.
really all it is it's a vertical for the Church of Latter-day Saints to make more money. Because previously, if you were openly LGBT, you couldn't be a part of the church. You couldn't be a member. And so membership means you can't pay us no money. You
Prop
can't
8
come.
didn't work, so look, I guess we gotta invite him in the house.
Yeah, and it just took them years
Prop
to
8
figure
didn't
that
work.
out. And so with you now being a full-fledged member and you can come and be baptized as a part of the church, they're saying, oh, well, look, we're inclusive now. But it's still a sin.
Y'all got on a red wig.
That caveat at the end is the most important part to me, because they were still sticking to the part of the Bible that they kicked the LGBT people out of the church for. Well, it's a sin. You're an abomination. You got to get the fuck out of here. But we'll welcome you back as long as you're going to pay your tithes and offering. We'll welcome you back so you can get your kids baptized. But not in the way of anybody else that is a parishioner that does sin, because it's all a sin. Everybody's a sinner that comes here allegedly, but we don't outline that sin specifically. We just ask you to pray about it and do works. So I thought that it was extremely important for us to talk about this topic this week. Definitely because we have a church parishioner here. Ronald and I are very anti, and you are a very positive church.
Are you?
So I'm not positive church.
I was gonna say, "Ooh, this is breaking news."
Yeah, I'm not positive church. I do think that there's a different approach that must be had in order to change the church's mind regarding sexuality. And the reason why I say that is because, like, for a lot of us who are woke, we have the privilege to say, fuck the church. We're not going back to that place. It does not accept me, or it accepts me with these parameters. But there are a large group of people who are either indoctrinated by the church or need the church that don't have that privilege. And so my argument is that we have to take a really, really powerful stance, because in the same way that we talk about how undetectable may be a privileged stance when we talk about HIV, right? We are taking the same privileged stance when we talk about church. Everybody cannot just leave the church. Some people were literally born, raised, bred, fucked first, learned first, learned about society and societal norms through the church, actually dress soulfully like the church, no shade. But the point is,
Pros and cons.
yeah, but the point is saying that, like, there's a large group of LGBTQA plus identified folks that do not have the privilege to just say fuck the church. And for those people, I really do have to stand in a different space, because they can't just say fuck the church. They're always going to go to church. Though 42% of millennials do not go to church, and 37% of those
Spiritual, not religious.
Yeah, 37% of those say it's because they do not affirm LGBT folks. That still leaves a large percentage. And so for those people, I think that it is not about, this is a fucked up argument as an LGBTQ activist-ish.
There were air quotes in there.
Yes, yeah. Because I don't consider myself an activist. I think I just do the work. But
I just do what I'm doing.
Yeah, but the thing is, as a person who stands for LGBT people don't like the fact that I say I am personally not in this business or this work to change the theology. I am here to change your perception and change how you move in your theology, right? Because I personally I know for sure if there is a hell or heaven, I won't see the devil unless I'm fucking her, right? But otherwise, what I do know...
That might be heaven.
Boots. Because if I'm fucking, it's heaven. Right. But the thing is, what I do know is that I have to stand for people who really need love and who have left the church not because they have been awakened, but because they don't feel love in any other space. And they have been turned away from God. They've been turned away from Jesus, then their family, then the church. And secretly, they are turned away from community, too, a lot of times.
So they don't have a community.
Yeah, a community. They got to find a community.
Yeah, and even when they come into the community that they identify with,
LGBT.
if they identify as othered in our community, they're turned away too. For that reason, I stand for those people, and I am pushing for churches to have a different demonstration of love. And I think that is, that's nuanced, and there's multiple opportunities for how that looks like, but I am not willing to say fuck the church on behalf of the people that really do, in their mind, need the church.
So that in their mind part, I think, is extremely important, because I think a lot of people that have, quote unquote, considered themselves Christians multiple times have thought in their mind, I need the church.
Yeah.
Until they got enlightened, until they figured out that this church or any church ain't necessarily the way. I can find a way through many other ways. And so I think it's important to give people the tools, but also hold them accountable. So even if I'm homeless, I'm a sex worker, and I know that the only place that, for me, I can go and get a meal is the church. And so I have to depend on the church for that. Why have I not figured out the same place that is disrespectful to me because I look trans and I'm coming in here poor and homeless, I smell bad or whatever? They will disrespect me. They'll turn their nose down and give me a bowl of soup. I need this bowl of soup because I'm hungry. Why am I not trying to find some other place where I can go and get a bowl of soup and they not turn their nose down to me?
I'm with you, except for this thing. Except for this thing. The reality is, if you are homeless, you smell bad, and you identify as LGBT, number one, your first idea around getting that need taken care of is not about who accepts me, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is, as LGBTQ folks, especially minorities, specifically black people, right? Black people do not accept that either, right? So if there are programs that give food to trans folk or LGBTQ homeless
I like
folk,
the way that sounds. Food programs for trans
yeah,
people.
and we have those in Houston. Be clear that there are other people, by other I mean fat, femme, otherwise, right, that are feeding those folk, because the people that look and identify like us a lot of times that we actually want to be in community with, that gives us some sense of normalcy in our daily life, they also don't accept us. And so my argument is, they say 8 out of 10 people in America that are black identify, right, believe in God with absolute uncertainty. That was in a Pew research, right? They also say
In God.
in God,
And not necessarily.
not church.
Not necessarily a Christian God, just a God.
No,
Yes.
absolutely, completely. And they also say, make sure I get this right. The other stat doesn't work because I've been drinking child pay it. But the point is, the point is, in saying something like that, there are multiple things, including the fact that the church is the origination of a lot of our liberation. And I'm not saying that it's not also the issue around our being shackled, right? But it is the formation of our liberation, including slavery, right? Including the civil rights movement. It's a social justice movement. The issue is they haven't embraced the LGBTQ movement. But what I will say about that is...
Well, that means they're not embracing liberation.
No, I absolutely believe what you're saying, completely. What I am saying is, historically, they have been a cornerstone of the community, right? And because they are the cornerstone of the community, and we are the generations of generations of generations of generations, there are a bunch of people who will not identify with the idea of being completely liberated with the church unless they can be connected to it. And if I am liberated from the church by leaving the church to join a community that does not liberate me, then that's an issue.
Yeah, but I think that community that doesn't liberate you, aka the LGBT community, is more pliable to be worked on. Again, like we talked about prior to the show, we're working on a campaign, No Fats, No Femmes, KNO, not NONO. No Fats, No Femmes.
Amazing.
So, our community does have its negatives where, I might look at you because you don't make as much money as me, or you're not as beat as I am.
Those are 2 seasons ago, Louis Vuitton. It's not vintage, sis, so it's just Poshmark. You renting this, ma'am.
You got that from consignment. But our community does not have a Bible that says we have to stick to this. We can progress and we can grow in a fashion where being over 250 pounds might be sexy in a year.
It sure is.
See,
it sure is.
That's a pioneer right there. But in the church community, it has been rooted in the exclusivity and otherism for thousands of years with no real indication of change. And the Church of Latter-day Saints is a perfect example of that, because they feel like they're changing and they're evolving, and all they're really doing is lining their pockets with more money of the same people that they oppress. So I would like to have the same optimism that you have for the church and for people that feel trapped in the church. But I think that it's really important to arm those people with other options and other pathways that are more pliable to their existence.
I'm gonna give you that only because I know we're coming back to this.
I was gonna say it's a lot.
Yeah, and I don't want to take over this section of this wonderful podcast. But we'll come back. We'll come back to that. Yeah.
But do you have a closing statement though? You can have
so I simply think that it's, we're talking from a privileged standpoint, and
I am privileged now. I have not always been this privileged.
No, me either. I come from the slums, child. Sometimes
I know what it's like for the church to have fucked me, so that's why I know.
I enjoy the church fucking me sometimes.
I don't.
Right.
Forward, not back. Forward, not back.
Right. No, but the point of me saying that is that I come from the deep south. I come from a place that it makes more sense, and I am not applauding this, by the way. But it makes more sense for you to be in the closet and in the church sometimes than for you to be out.
It is
and
perceived.
Outside the church.
It is perceived.
This is the thing. Okay, I'll say this really quickly because we have to move on, and I understand.
No, I like this.
So I have a friend, a really, really close friend of mine.
Friend of Dorothy.
Come on out.
I'm feeling like Sophia right now. But anyway, so I have a really close friend who is...
Picture it, Houston, 1960.
Boots. He's LGBTQ identified. He just came out to me about 5 months ago. We've been friends for a while. But I asked him to be a part of the documentary that we'll talk about a little bit later. He told me he couldn't because people would tell about his skeletons. And I was floored because though I knew secretly that shit she played, you know what I'm saying? I did not know it had went that deep. So she had begun to tell me, had begun to tell me, right, had begun to tell me all the tea or whatever. And long story short, at the end of it, I was just like, as much as I want to tell you, you need to be liberated from who you are in a church, where you stand as a pastor, and what you're creative. The reality is, I really don't see any win for you coming out.
Very Avengers.
Like there is no win
There's
in you
so many possibilities.
other than this.
But how do you win?
Other than this beautiful and internal feeling of being out and open and loving yourself and being your best self, I don't see any win.
I love that. Yeah. You don't do that?
No, I am that person.
He can't do that in his setting.
I am that person.
Can he move from his current situation? Because I would rather him join the privileged part of us who don't have to depend on the church, but it's going to include # free yourself.
It's going to include pain. It's going to include hardship. It is a journey. It is not
life is a journey.
The church kicked me out, and so now I ain't got no place to go. I ain't got nowhere to eat. Yeah.
But that sounds really cute in a capitalistic society.
That's what I was like. I don't know.
That doesn't make sense.
Can he move?
It doesn't make sense. He built his church.
Okay. I don't know.
He built his church. He is a beautiful, beautiful spirit, beautiful body, beautiful face.
Here we go.
Beautiful characteristics.
I probably know him then.
Boots.
I probably know him.
We probably didn't hung in the same crowd. So the thing is, I love him down, right? But I don't see a win for him. And I say that to say, like, if he left that, what would he come to? And we keep on pointing back to, like, the knowledge of yourself, the affirmation of yourself. But when you come to a community that's just as worse as the church, and you mentioned that, like, we could progress, though we have proof that the church has not progressed, we don't have proof that the LGBTQ community will progress, and so I don't.
No, I completely reject that because the community was once one that shied away from the face of transness, that shied away from drag queens. The community definitely was that.
They're still doing that.
Yeah,
but here's the deal.
I mean, we have making progress.
But where's
making progress?
So is the Church of Latter-day Saints.
No, they're making dollar. They're making dollar progress.
They're trying to get membership up.
We are talking about transness and gayness in a way that we never talked about transness and gayness 30 years ago. We are including trans. Because it's saving lives.
What?
And it's money.
No.
Talking about transness is
trans visibility?
is
So-
giving
We
us
didn't have
so
no
for
trans
clarity.
visibility.
So
I'm
for
not getting no
clarity.
money for
No,
supporting
not.
trans women.
not y'all.
I ain't
We-
definitely
we-
made $1 from
But
it.
I love all my trans sisters. I'll get out there and
Boots.
fight for them just like I'm fighting for
Boots.
bisexual girls as
Boots.
well.
But the
and
reason
they
why-
stay in the closet.
But the
These
reason why,
bisexual girls.
though they are still being killed like this is deer in the summer, the reality is, yes, we are talking about it in a radical way. But the reason why it's on the front page is because
we are talking about it.
No, because the companies are making money.
We are talking
No.
about it, and the companies cannot ignore our voices.
The companies that are making money are not talking about the young woman that was killed on Trans Visibility Day.
and
We
when it's
are.
gay pride, they
the
go
the
put
companies that are making money that
The chief
are
marketing fish,
putting
they're not
flags
putting
on
somebody-
their advertisement.
So-
they're not talking about the total number of women that were killed last year.
No.
The companies that are making money are not including trans women and going down to Casa Ruby and making sure we do a donation. They're not doing that.
So what makes
so
a
that is
change?
that's a false negative. The people that are doing and making change are highlighting, hey, this is a actual trans organization that is actually helping trans people, and we are actually going down to this trans organization. That has changed from the
what
80s.
has changed?
You didn't see in the 80s Arsenio Hall going down to the trans homeless shelter.
Would I see that now? I don't think
Yeah,
I've seen it.
but what is so? I guess let me back up because maybe I am wrong.
No, you're not
Yeah.
wrong.
No,
It's
ma-
all of our
No.
views
By
are
me
valid.
saying I'm wrong, I was being facetious.
Oh, I'm gonna say don't. Okay.
But maybe I'm wrong in what I consider change. What has changed to you guys
Well, it's,
for trans issues?
Change can easily be one life saved turn to 10 lives saved, turn to someone else hearing a story and their hearts softening over the story because before they were scared of trans people, before they didn't know any trans people, before they never heard any trans people. We had a trans person on our podcast on our 1-year anniversary, and I can tell you that if 1,300 people listened to that podcast, probably 1,100 of them never heard a trans person talk for more than 20 minutes and talk about what their
and
struggles
it was
are.
not about sex work.
And yeah, exactly, they've never heard that story, and so if they have to hear that story once on our 1-year anniversary, twice on our 2nd-year anniversary, 3 times on our 3rd-year anniversary, and they're like, "Oh, I really identify with that. I really should go down there and see what that's about."
And the trans
That's
community
change.
has put together Trans Visibility Week. So the trans community is saying, we want to be visible. We want girls to come down
And
here and check
organizations.
in at our organizations. We want y'all to acknowledge that we exist. Sex work. Oh, I feel so bad because I can't remember the name of the organization. But
Flux.
trans sex workers in DC have a whole organization,
Oh,
and they are
yes.
fighting for a bill
Yes.
down to the Congress. Like, they're doing things and they just want to be acknowledged. Visibility. That's what the trans community has come together and put together.
And the changes,
So-
is there are people like us willing to put our voices behind theirs to amplify their voice. Because before, they would be in the streets, homeless, on drugs, crazy, saying, "Hey, I need help." Everybody just walk by.
But going back to
Spit on them.
people
Spit on them and walk by.
people keeping their relationship with the church because it's the only thing they know. That's also saying, like, oh my gosh, he hits me, but he buys dinner. So am I supposed to stay in this abusive relationship, or are my friends and the people around me who also claim they love me the same way my abuser does to free me?
Right. So a couple of different things.
Oh,
I'm going to
no.
answer that. But so you started this conversation. I can't remember the exact language you used, but I loved it at the beginning. You were talking about acceptance versus
Allyship.
Allyship.
And accomplice.
an accomplice. So the trans people are fighting for acceptance in the same way the Latter-day Saints are. But I do want to come back to that. So I do.
I mean, I can
Yeah.
see it. I
so
can see it.
so with that,
They both are trying to grow their audiences. The trans girls want to be visible, and the Latter-day Saints
The
are
trans
trying
girls
to grow
want
an audience.
trans girls want visibility to stay alive and to be recognized as humans. The Church of Latter-day Saints wants their verticals to change as far as numbers. I want more money. I want more asses.
They
and
want
seats.
the Excel spreadsheet.
They're not about to die no goddamn time
Acceptance versus
soon.
acceptance. I'm with it. I agree with you. It's
Oh,
acceptance.
this is good. I love it.
But I will say though,
Okay.
in terms of being abusers, my argument is never to stay in abusive relationships. I was an abuser, right? So I know what that looks like. And the person that I abused, I have not spoke to them in years. It was an awful situation. They did right, but I was definitely the person that lost, right? So it's never my argument for you to stay with your abuser. My argument is that there are a lot of people that die in abusive relationships.
So free yourself from the church.
No,
Don't die in that abuse.
I would
Don't
love.
commit suicide.
I would love for that to be the answer, but some people die in abusive relationships, and our argument can't be this blanket of just leave, because what I'm saying is some people die in abusive relationships, and so if your answer is leave him, and I don't leave him.
Easier said than done. Easier said than done.
And I don't leave
Way
him,
easier
then
said
that
than done.
can't be the answer for you who will die in an abusive relationship.
You can create an action plan.
My
With
point
loved
is,
ones.
I am not
Easy
saying
said
that
than
you
done.
should stay.
Okay.
I don't go to church. I
You
don't
listen
go
to
to
gospel.
church. I love gospel music.
I love
but
gospel
for
music
different
too.
reasons.
I love
I
gospel.
just think it's
just cute vocals.
It's cute
It's
vocals.
cute vocals.
Boo. I love a vocal set. Boo.
That's so good.
I can't. If a girl was singing to me about slavery, I'm like, that's nice, Yolanda. Can't do it.
Wade in the water, bitch.
Come on. Something in the water by Carrie
Right.
Underwood.
But my point is there has to be a different action plan. And a part of that action plan has to be to have a conversation about how to approach those folk. And I think that conversation is around, number one, I have to see myself in you, because a part of the mix-up, I think, with LGBT folk and the church is that the moment you become gay, I no longer see myself in you. I no longer see myself as a faggot, as a punk, as a person who's out here getting fucked in the butt, which is not true. We on several podcasts, you talk about how that's not the truth for many people, right?
Okay.
But the truth of the matter is that we have things that are more alike.
Don't die.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
my nose is itching. Sorry. Wow.
We have things that are more alike than different, right? And when we begin to build on the likenesses of each other, I believe that we can see the humanity in each other, and that can shift. The reason why I say that is because my aunt is a devout Southern Baptist woman who
Come on out.
is unfortunately, I love you, Aunt Nat. She is unfortunately submissive to her husband in the wrong kind of way.
Oh.
I think it's so foolish. The point is,
Are you classifying him as an abuser?
so she is submissive to her husband in the wrong way. And the issue is with that is when we begin to talk and begin to have conversation, she was completely against my sexuality, right? But I didn't ask her for acceptance.
Oh my gosh, I asked you for your acceptance?
Right.
Oh, when did I do that?
But what happened is she began to talk to me. She began to say, like, there are so many things about you that I identify with and that I see your uncle in, unfortunately, because I was abusive too.
Uncle? What's your uncle? How he's relevant? Okay.
Yeah, they'll
Moving
catch
right.
it, hopefully.
Okay.
So the point is, she was able to see a lot of that in myself, and I started to say, hold on, bitch.
Huh?
I got to introduce myself to, like, several other people to see how this works. And I've been able to do it to church after church, and I'm not saying it'll happen to every church. But I do know that these churches are now talking about HIV, at least in Houston right now, and hopefully nationally
Some
soon.
of them are testing now.
But
And
past
was a big
that,
step.
at this point, I'm to a place where we're not going to talk about HIV outreach until we talk about LGBTQ issues,
Come on out.
right? And so the fact that they're doing that, I think is a very powerful place to be. And by powerful, it's not my power, it's the fact that it's millions, at least thousands, right, of people that are being saved because they refuse to leave the church. And you could die by your abuser. That's it.
Break up with your boyfriend. I am bored.
Oh my God. Please do. And AKA the church.
Yeah. If you didn't get that. 6'4 Luxury has a new natural aroma spring scent that you guys should be checking out. Again, if you have not heard us talk about 6'4 Luxury before,
They have heard us talk about 6'4 Luxury.com.
Okay, that's okay. That was that Tennessee. Or
No,
Mississippi?
that was kind of like Alabama.
Okay, we'll go with that.
I tried. I don't know.
They have a new aroma called Cedar and White Musk that could be key to attracting your next baby daddy.
Come on.
Get over to his site right now and buy
on.
some shit. They have moisturizers, scrubs, aromatherapy. You can get you a facial set up
You can get you a facial.
and take that however you would like to. It's 64luxury.com. The Gay Panic Defense Act is still on the
I
book.
heard about that. What they say? I saw the hell. Okay, I gotta Google. This is why I love this part. I can Google and listen at the same time and get educated. Okay.
Not have to write down nothing. The Gay Panic Defense Act is still in the books in dozens of states as we speak today. The act is basically a stand your ground type of initiative that allows people to attack physically, verbally, and or kill, manslaughter someone because they felt like they were being approached in a gay way or being propositioned in a gay way. They have gotten homophobes off in the same way that Stand Your Ground did, like I was saying. It allows arsoning, assaulting, robbing, and killing someone who's gay because you feel like you were propositioned by a member of the LGBT community. Oh. The law justifies violence against cishet people feeling encroached upon to include assault and murder. And I brought it up again because it is something that is still on the books, still being enforced. And there was a couple cases this weekend where it worked. Someone claimed that a gay person hit on them and they assaulted this gay person back.
Snooze. You need to tell another story, man. We've heard this one before. I'm not going. This one not putting me to bed.
Wow.
And it's not waking me up either.
Okay. And so I wanted to make sure that we shined a light on the Gay Panic Defense Act because it is still out here. It is the reason that you should be careful in heterosexual spaces when you feel like, ooh, he's sexy. I can just give him a compliment. I can just, I know he may not be fully into me or whatever, but I'm just going to tell him he look good in them pants or that dick look good in them.
It do.
In them sweatpants.
It do. And I'm going to walk up to him and tell him because I got a loud mouth.
And so you will also need to know about the Gay Panic Defense Act because it may be the reason that you are allowed to be assaulted. You are not allowed to press charges for that assault. And the person that assaulted you will more than likely go free. So be cognizant of your environment. Be cognizant of your potential assailants because oftentimes we will feel empowered that since they hit me and I only said something that I'm going to be right in court. I'm going to sue this bitch for $5,000 and I'm going to be all right. No. There are plenty of cases where the Gay Panic Defense Act has been on the side of the assailant, even when that assailant has gay bashed with other people, someone that has only said something to them. So be cognizant out here.
I'm on the LGBT Bar Association. Well, do you know the LGBT version of that's under the Bar Association? So a U.S. Marine was stationed in the Philippines and picked up a sex worker. When he discovered that she was trans, he choked her and she died. But the court said that this could not be labeled as murder because the Gay Panic Defense. What?
Yeah.
That is. If you choke me and I die, does it matter if I'm gay? Because
yes, apparently yes. So you're thinking outside the box of no, it shouldn't be a person has killed me.
I was breathing, you was breathing, and now one person not breathing.
But there is a system
How
in
did
place.
this occur?
There's a system in place that supersedes factual thought. And
you had on black shoes, so it's not murder. She had on black shoes.
She had on heels. That's really what it is. She had on heels and a wig.
Her pump
and so
was
now
fierce.
her murder is now
so now her murder is
invalidated.
Well, definitely all people with Beijings choking all men over 30 who have a Beijing, and it's not going to be deemed as murder because It's the Beijing panic defense.
I always panic when I see Beijing. I'm like, what were they thinking?
I have white pillowcases. You're not coming over here. And I have white pillowcases because, as a woman, I like to show y'all the sheets are white, and when you get up, it's still gonna be white. And if it ain't my fault. It's yours.
It ain't my fault. Morehouse is now
sheets.
Morehouse is now accepting trans men starting next school year.
Female to male transition.
Yes.
Okay.
Becoming a man, a person that identifies as a man now.
Make it plain.
But denying current students who are transitioning from male to trans women to matriculate. So they are still like people that identify as men when they enrolled in Morehouse, but are now transitioning into women, trans women.
So they're accepting female to male, but denying male to female.
But denying male to female to matriculate because they're already in the school.
Do they get federal
They
dollars?
got accepted. Yes.
I really feel like these federal dollars are about to jump out.
They
Literally
should.
jump out their account.
They
Checking and
should, but
saving.
they're not, unfortunately. But they're not allowing these students to matriculate because they're not the gender that they were when they got accepted to Morehouse. So again, with Morehouse, love a lot of y'all niggas, but dragging you too. You're making steps for inclusion, but not for allyship or being an accomplice.
Well, where's
You're
the alumni
saying,
now?
Exactly. That's why
Where's
we're
the
talking
alumni?
about this now because the alumni have a lot of power in these discussions. The alumni are the reason that the conversation has been going on for about 3 years now to accept trans men into Morehouse, and a lot of the alumni were basically saying, nah. But now, I guess a good majority enough of them had come around to allowing trans men to apply and be accepted because it ain't the first time trans men were applying to Morehouse. It's now about to be the first time that trans men were accepted to Morehouse. But we are forgetting the other piece of the puzzle with people that are identifying as trans women that got accepted to the school as men. Why is one trans good and one trans ain't?
Masculinity.
Yes.
So fragile.
Quite fragile. Quite fragile.
Masculinity continues to be fragile.
I don't know. I think it's correct.
Okay, thank you guys so much for tuning into here for a podcast.
Why do you think it's correct?
So if
Masculine, you have to be masculine presenting to go to Morehouse.
because it's a male school. It's a school for males. Go to Spelman.
Studs go
But
to
they
Spelman. Studs go to Spelman.
They didn't get accepted to Spelman. They started school and were accepted to Morehouse.
But you no longer identify with the parameters that Morehouse set. And the fact that they're now allowing male-identified folks, I think that's...
Well, you know what I do extra student.
Yeah. Go to Spelman.
It's
Apply
a
to
boys'
Spelman.
school, so you have to be a boy. But you know,
And every-
so I'm
No,
trying to
no.
compute it out.
There is
in 10
no
seconds
bridge. There is no
and
bridge
sound
program.
educated. Okay, so no, y'all keep talking. I'm working through it.
There is no bridge program between Morehouse and Spelman.
No,
I
agree.
got accepted to Morehouse based on the merits, based on the merits of my grades and my application and what I wrote and who I was, not based on the dick in my pants. And so if I looked like a man when I walked in here, but I ain't had no dick in my pants because there's no dick assessment when you walk into Morehouse. You just appear, you present as a male. Nobody's asking none of them, well, do you got a dick? Is it 9 inches or better? Nobody asked that.
So if you don't appear, then you no longer qualify, right?
No, appearance.
Because the issue has been the LGBT squad down to the Morehouse already. So they were even throwing shade at that because they were like, how can you be a man and be gay? Now, Georgia is very guilty. So I'm trying to apply that to it first because it's about the whole LGBT community and what masculine presenting appears to be. And so what's my genitalia? And if I am masculine presenting, and there's just so many more factors, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get an answer in the next 10 minutes.
No, I'm just saying
I don't
if
know.
you identify, you go to Morehouse because you identify with being a
As
man.
male,
Or male, excuse me.
Year one.
You go to Morehouse because you
You're
identify
male, and then you go to
with
Spelman
being a
because you
male.
identify
right.
as female.
And so if you no longer identify as that, if you identify as a woman, you actually should not, in my opinion, though I can't place any any words
If
on
their
that because I'm
intentions
not.
were pure, I could agree to it. But I know Morehouse's intentions are not pure. And so for that, they getting a red X for me. They getting an F on it. I can't. I'm underlining everything. It's like, girl, you forgot an apostrophe. I'm underlining and I'm grammatically just pushing this out. No, you're getting an F. Morehouse is getting an F because their intentions are not pure.
Listen, I'm not here to judge intentions, just facts. You are not male presenting. Go to a different school.
The facts are at every other college. Every other college.
I accept. That's what I said. I'm thinking about it, but I'm like, I know Morehouse.
No, I agree.
Morehouse just-
I agree. I got a staph infection from presenting there. Stupid ass bitches. But anyway, so I'm with you.
If we were talking about any other school, any other HBCU, and I started off the school year and I got accepted presenting as a male, which was not the qualifying thing for me to start at Howard University. Second year, I figured out I'm really a female. I really would like to present as a female, but I got all A's. I am slaying. I'm the president of the student council.
Oh, wow.
Howard is not going to tell me at that point because I'm wearing a little more lipstick and a little more foundation. Girl, get the fuck out.
But Howard is not an all-boys school.
But they're also gerrymandering. They
I
are
am,
gerrymandering the fuck out of this.
You're setting the system for
I don't know.
for only a archetype of person. You have to be one. You have to mostly be black to be here. Now you have to be mostly masculine, and you have to have a penis and proudly say that you have a penis without wearing a wig and lipstick. Girl,
But female to male.
but my argument.
but that's what I'm saying.
But my argument is
complicated.
so if I go to so when people start talking about like going to Morehouse, it's just like you are going to the
requirement to
Heights.
Like a what, girl?
the requirement
I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that because I didn't go to her.
the requirement to enter and the requirement to graduate are two different things.
To be male, let me go. Morehouse.
It's two different things. And so if I needed a 29 on the ACT to enter the school, that doesn't mean that I have to maintain 4.0 GPA. I got to pass.
So this is the argument.
And this you got to pass.
So this is the difference, right? But if I said I graduated high school, right? If I graduated high school to get into Morehouse and I didn't, that would be different. Because if I'm trans, just because I decide that I am
You didn't
transitioning,
just decide. It's not a decision.
you didn't decide,
not a
right?
decision.
It's been a lifelong process. So in that way, you have been transitioning your whole life. That way, that means that when you came into this all-male organization, you didn't even identify with being a male.
You did not. But at the time, I met the requirements. The requirements were be male presenting.
But you didn't
especially
graduate
if you
high
are
school
a person of color.
because you were still not graduated. It's over. It's over. You didn't
It's
meet the requirements.
complicated. It's complicated. Y'all, it's complicated.
Morehouse, I'm absolutely not here for it.
But we're not
Get
here
y'all
for
shit,
it.
Get y'all shit the
I know.
motherfuck together. If you're going to accept one trans person, accept the other trans person.
You gotta
I'm
accept
not
it
here for
both
the shit.
ways. You gotta accept it both ways.
I'm not here for the
You gotta
shit.
be versed in this relationship.
And if it means breaking down the institution of a black HBCU, then let us fall out over it.
Yeah.
Then let us fall out over it, because protecting a black HBCU and protecting all black trans people, it should be the same thing. And if it has to come to an argument about it, then let that all that shit fall out.
Could there be a pipeline for trans folk
No.
to go to Spelman?
No, that sounds separate but equal. Well, we're going to let you go over here because that's where we would like for you to
I
be
don't
at.
know.
I got accepted to Morehouse. I am a Morehouse graduate, whether I'm
You're
a
a Morehouse man.
whether I'm a man or a woman.
You're
Because
Morehouse-
what
Morehouse
the
man is not trademarked, by the way.
No, I
at
just
all.
be-
And it looks different. The Morehouse man of 15 years ago would never have been an out LGBT activist like we got so many of them now. That's not what the Morehouse man, quote unquote, looked like. And so the Morehouse man in 4 years is about to be a trans man.
Boots. And
So-
I'm completely in agreement with that.
I really wish that it wasn't with all the political baggage of Morehouse. Like, if their intent was, I keep saying this, if their intent was pure,
Intent versus impact.
I could just think about it. But I know Morehouse is trash. So it's like, the way y'all move ain't real. So what y'all doing playing with female to male? Because I want them to be safe. My trans brothers, I want them to be safe. And my trans sisters, when they start walking around campus, need to be safe as well because they're coming. We're actually already there.
They're there already. That's the point of.
We're
that's
already
the point
there.
Of they're there already. That's the point of why we're reporting on it, because they're there and they're not being allowed to matriculate.
You need to
so
stay
imagine
every week. Let's go to the show every week.
Imagine going to school
He
for
would
3
hate me.
years.
He already hate me already. Look at his face. He like, this nigga always going against me.
No, it's good conversation. I love it.
Imagine going to Morehouse for
I love
3
it.
years. You've done all this work. You got accepted as a man. You realized on this journey
As a junior.
of life, because it doesn't
4
matter
years at
whether
Morehouse,
it's at
girl.
college or not.
Sure.
You figure the shit out. But now they're telling you, you can't get this degree. I owe all this money. What the fuck you talking about? I can't get this degree
Out of state rates.
because I wear a wig. Because I feel like I should go into a female's bathroom. I can't get this degree that I've been working hard for. I got all these A's and B's and shit. Y'all can get the fuck out of my face.
Dean's List and community service.
Seeking mental health is not crazy. Not seeking mental health is crazy.
What are you talking about?
The next subject in Tepic Topics.
Amen.
Keep going. Keep going. Those were some of the messages that came out of the suicide prevention conference that was held by a few of us here in DC and hosted by Impulse DC. A couple takeaways for some of you guys that weren't able to make it was there's an open suicide line that you guys can text if you would like to. I know everyone doesn't want to talk about their feelings, doesn't want to talk about their emotions, doesn't want to talk about possibly killing themselves, doesn't want to talk about their addictions, but you can text this line right now if you are in a crisis. 741-741. Just text the word GO, G-O, and someone will reach out to you via text and ask you if you would like to talk on the phone. If you would not like to talk on the phone and you would just like to get things out via text, someone will listen to you. You will have a licensed mental health provider on the other end to text back and forth with. I think it's extremely awesome. Thank you to American Foundation of Suicide Prevention for also supporting the conference this weekend.
It was really good.
We talked about getting a therapist and dating a therapist before you are in an emergency or crisis. Oftentimes people will think about getting into therapy, people will dance around the subject of finding a mental health provider, and then they'll be in a crisis and I need one like right now. And I'm about to kill myself. The world is over. My mama just died. I really need somebody right now. But you have not set up a relationship with a mental health provider that when you are in a crisis, they will know your backstory, they will know your triggers, they will know how to calm you down, and they will know how to talk you down from the ledge of a crisis. So it's important to find that mental health provider before you're in a crisis and date them just like you would date any other nigga. So if you were dating somebody and then you were in the middle of a crisis and it's your second date, you're not gonna go and tell him everything that's going on, right? You would say, okay, well, yeah, I'm going through something, and you might ghost him. You might stop talking to him for 2 weeks. But if you are working with a mental health provider for months on end or weeks on end, and they have gotten to know you, when that crisis happens, you are more comfortable talking to them about the crisis, and they are more comfortable listening to you about the crisis without tiptoeing around certain things that mental health providers have to tiptoe around. So again, that number is 741-741. If you are in crisis, if you are not in crisis, and you know that you need to be in mental health, seek mental health providers right now. Real Housewives of Atlanta.
And now this is the last hot topic because, oh my God. Look at her.
Bless you. Candy Girl.
I saw that video the other day. Candy Girl. And then she turned around and made up with Janet Jackson. I'm like, Kaya, what are you doing? Kaya, what are you doing? She's like, look, y'all, I done made up with Janet. What was the song she was playing?
Candy Girl. Candy and all the girls. I would like y'all to know, do not let hurt people hurt you. Everything that we have talked about last week and the week before about Nene's behavior on this reunion continues. It just continued this past Sunday, and it's obvious that she probably has more things going on in the background that is making her project a lot of other shit onto other people. So do not let her hurt people hurt you. You have to divorce yourself from that energy. It comes off of other people and comes onto you, and you have to divorce yourself away from that until it cools down or resolves.
This sounded really cute, but it just sounds like Nene just doing what she doing to get ratings up. And okay, people are tuning in, Nene, but girl, we don't like you. So what does that mean? Ian, talk to us about Outcry, the documentary.
Oh, boots. Okay. So
Pick a wall.
right. So Outcry, it started out as a pilot project with AIDS United to do some work around church and sexuality, but now it has blossomed into a docuseries that we are currently working on. It'll be a 5-part docuseries that's slated to be released in the fall of 2019 on Amazon Prime. So we're super excited about that. We're traveling, just kind of originally doing focus groups, but now we're working on the pilot being a mini doc. So we're doing some editing, working some things out to submit that to different places. We're going to be in Charleston at Saving Ourselves Symposium. We're in the Pride Film Festival, and we're working with one of our favorite organizations, which I won't say, in New York, to show it there. So we've traveled a little bit, and we're super excited that what was supposed to be a small project is becoming
growing
bigger. Yeah.
Bigger than you knew.
Yeah.
That's good. Where can we get more information about that? Just follow you, or
you can either follow me or you can go on normalanomaly.com.
oh, here we go. This week in social studies, really quickly.
Before we get there, again, our last type of topic of every week is hashtag arrest Ed Buck. Ed Buck is still on the fucking streets. How dare I forget? I don't know. But Ed Buck is still on the streets. He is still at large. The only people that are prosecuting him is the family of Jamel Moore, and that is a crime. He has killed 2 black gay men now. He is still out here dating other black gay men with the potential of
dating. I don't know about that part. He's
also y'all call it whatever you would like to.
I don't know what brand of denim he's wearing, but girl, no, you need to change.
Cheap. So she also needs to just be in a jumpsuit, in the same jumpsuit we saw Monica in. Hashtag arrest Ed Buck. Get her the fuck out of here.
Adios. I want to talk about people that work in black gay media that we love. I mean, us 3 sitting here working in black gay media. I love me. I don't love y'all. But I definitely want to start 2 or 3 people. If you only have one, that's fine. Shout out to Arky Escalera. Follow him on Twitter at Snacktivist. He's written for All the Girls Teen Vogue. I want to say out. I hate messing up people's bylines because if they didn't actually write for that company, I don't want to give them that, or they might not like that company. But Snacktivist, and shout out to Michael Arsenault, who last year came out with his book, I Can't Date Jesus. And he is going to be on the what's her name? Jamel Hill new podcast. I know they ousted her down to the ESPN, and she was like, look, I don't need y'all. My name, my voice. Look, my name is on the moniker, like Wendy Williams. My name is on the moniker. When I get out here, the girls tune in for me. So shout out to Michael Arsenault for being a co-host. Shout out to Mikhail Street, down to Out Magazine. He researched into why is Cardi B trademarking like she made it up. She didn't. I love Mikhail Street. And he was dragging the people down to the drag race talking about, we're going to do a shablam. And then the whole Vogue ball community was just like, get up out of here. And that's my fave. So they had to drag RuPaul. Also, 2 more people for me. According to T by Tavion Scott. Make sure you go to accordingtot.com. I love all of the letters that his readers sent to him, and he give them answers. And I would really like to hear him respond to some of those. According to T, you need a podcast. And lastly, shout out to Just Being Anthony. He's always supportive of Here for a Podcast at the Superman Ronald Matters. We love justbeinganthony.com. People y'all love. People you like.
Outstanding. Opulence.
People you like in Black
this
Gay Media?
second.
You don't love anybody in Black Gay Media?
No, I named him at the top of the podcast.
George Johnson.
I like
him.
George Johnson.
Okay.
Again, my faves are Samson and Tatiana.
Okay. People you love, listen to, follow.
I like Raheem Brazil right now. He has the hustle. Y'all can't see my face. Hey, Raheem. And I also, that's it.
Work! Supermodel of the world. This week in sexual health, I would like to highlight Impulse's Thought Box since we have 2 Impulse members here.
Come on.
Our Thought Box is one of the great tools that we share throughout all the Impulses across the country. The ingredients to a good hoe bag is extremely necessary. So if you do not have a Impulse in your community, make sure you reach out to the closest one so you can get yourself a Thought Box.
I got 2 or 3. I can mail you one of mine.
You might need yours. The ingredients to a good Thought Box, a good hoe bag, is a durable bag, 1. So I know some of the girls.
Travel size.
Some of the, well, it could be any size. You don't know.
Because it's a travel bag.
You don't know what you need to put in it.
Oh.
We're gonna get there.
Oh.
But a durable bag is extremely important because you don't want to put your shit in a grocery bag and now you've lost your shit in the Uber and you don't have it when you got to the date. So a durable bag, number 1, a fanny pack, book bag, or purse that won't reveal the contents of your freakiness the way that a plastic bag might. At least 2 condoms, the lube of your choice and liking, mints or mouthwash instead of toothbrush and toothpaste because that can expose you to other things. Wet wipes and whatever else you know will personally satisfy your needs, to include and not only exclude poppers, sex toys, fleece for
butt plug.
Sure,
Prostate massager.
If that's for you.
Because sometimes he don't always get it there.
Yeah. So this is for away activities as well. So I mean, if you're gonna finish yourself off, then just leave that at home when you get back to the house.
Don't go over there, stay down.
I'm just saying. Fleets for checkups and follow-ups if you necessarily need them. And the drugs of your choice, except for Tina, because we are not here for that shit.
Take down Tina.
And candles if you are those types of girls.
I guess I gotta pick one of those little Glade $3.99 candles.
Aromatherapy can be really good in sex. Like, okay, this nigga house stink. Let me light up this little cotton linen shit.
And like we talked about on Patreon, if people got bed bugs, can you spray that bed bug spray?
No, if they got bed bugs, just leave. Get out. If you like a thought box of your own, I'll be handing them out at 50 Shades of Noir here at DC for Pride Memorial Day weekend. You can also get them at any Impulse event, especially Impulse Houston's events with Ian. Get you a thought box. You will need it for your away activities.
Do y'all have any upcoming events on the calendar?
Yeah, so May 5th, we'll be releasing our event on Wednesday.
Okay.
So go to Impulse Group Houston. You'll get any information. It's invite only. But you can get it. Yeah.
Y'all been hanging out with y'all been hanging out with the DC girls too much. You can't come. Songs for our souls.
Guess, do you have a song?
For our soul?
Yeah.
Child, no, y'all know I'm a church queen, so I gotta think.
Okay, well, I'll go first. Shout out to Eddie Superman for enduring. I was playing like my Vogue mix. I was like my J. Karan, and I was like, I needed all my girls. So shout out to J. Karan Pendavis with his exclamation. His song is Miss J's Proclamation. And this one verse really stood out to me because y'all love when Eddie Superman reads the lyrics. So here I go. So you say you want to serve Miss Pussy, but nobody knows your name. On 3, get back and get ready to attack. Here's your 10 seconds of fame. Sha-da-ga-ga-ga-ga-ga-ga-ga-ga-ga-ga. So that was my poetic reading.
Yes, bitch.
Drama.
Go off.
JP Davis said, look, the girls might not know you, but when you walk into this room, you're going to pump, and the girls are going to see it, they're going to feel it, and opulence, you own everything. Walk into a room like that. And this is a song for my soul because I know I always walk into a room like I own it, but now I have the song to remind myself when I'm feeling down. Miss J's Proclamation by J. Karan Pendavis is the song for my soul.
What? Come on, House of Pendavis. Shout out to Racing. The song for my soul this week, we are about to come into Pride season like I was talking about earlier, and this song is almost identifiable with Pride. No matter what Pride you go to, what color the Pride is, whatever it is, this song almost all the time is played.
Let me see. No, keep talking. I'm trying to.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I was like, well, bitch, if you
I'm
psychic,
not guessing.
I didn't think so. I'm coming out.
Oh my God.
I want the world to know.
on out.
Got to let it show.
Coming out. Walk into that room.
I want the world to know. I gotta let it show. There's a new me coming out, and I just have to live. I want to give. I am completely positive. I think it's time. I think this time around, I'm gonna do it. Like you never do it. Like you never knew it. Oh, I'll make it through it. The time has come for me to break out of the shell. I have to shout that I'm coming out. I'm coming out. I'm dedicating that song one to Wendy Williams because she's coming out. And
That's my babe.
And also RuPaul, who is my here for it. And we will get there.
I love how both of our songs is just like, girl, be confident, live it, own it. Different spectrums, but
I'm from Houston, so
Club God.
no, it's
Megan Thee
not.
Stallion.
No, it's not. Actually, this is this guy named Major who's from Houston. His name, the song is "Better with You in It." It's actually like a,
Better With You in It is about relationships, love.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't
Yeah,
know.
Pussy.
yeah, all of that thing. Anyway, I'm looking for love, bitch. So I'm looking for somebody that's better with me in it or them in it, whatever.
Oh, hashtag verse lives matter.
Yes.
Song going thing here.
Duality, as we've talked about before. Now it's time for our here for it's. I am absolutely here for the supermodel of the world.
Oh.
RuPaul herself has said, I am the supermodel of the world. And
Claimed
the
it.
world said, yes, you are. RuPaul, Miss RuPaul herself has an interesting and outstanding article in Vogue coming out on the next issue where she
Kim
talked
Kardashian
about,
is on the cover. She's a lawyer now.
don't buy it for that reason. RuPaul talked about how he sashayed from underground royalty to mainstream mega fame in over 3 decades. I think that Vogue did an amazing job with the photo of RuPaul. It was everything.
Yeah.
And they did an excellent job with the questions they asked RuPaul because a lot of times these interviews will be very surface level.
Oh my God. Press release.
Yeah,
Oh.
and stuff that, just anybody with Google could have figured out and asked RuPaul. But they were very labor intensive in asking questions for the interview. And I thought that it was just an amazing article. My co-host pointed out earlier on Twitter about RuPaul noting that he was in an open relationship. I was
Open marriage.
I was like, duh. I knew that, but it was great for them to have covered that and asked that. But in knowing this podcast and knowing that we keep up with Drag Race, and we drag RuPaul sometimes, I do think that this was an important moment for us to give RuPaul his flowers for being
Ru looks good.
amazing.
Uh-oh, here we go. Not here for it.
For being amazing yet problematic. I will continue to hold RuPaul accountable for things that RuPaul says and does, but I will also know that the lane that RuPaul has carved for so many other drag queens and or trans performers is unquestionable and undeniable and could only have really been done by RuPaul. So I'm absolutely here for it.
So I am here for the Giselle Barbie Royale Day in Orlando.
Okay.
Giselle is Miss International Queen. She beat out, I think, 22 other contestants from around the world to be.
Yeah, I heard they spend their coin and they come together.
Yeah, in Thailand. Giselle is a talent in our community. She really embodies the essence of a female impersonator, and she's a trans woman, which is super, super dope. I just think she really has it. She's super, super sweet. And she works in public health. She focuses on trans women's health, and she looks at the intersection of HIV with HRTs. And she is in the community doing the work and also in this pageant world doing this work. She's the first black trans woman to ever win Miss International Queen. But she's also Miss Continental. She's anything she wants to be because she's just that talented and just that beautiful. I am here for it.
This week, I was scrolling down Facebook, Lord knows, because, profoundly is a new thing now. Everybody's DMing us that they want to smash and they would have licked it this way. And I started responding, you need to come from behind this wall so I can give you these walls. But anyway, in between scrolling profoundly on Facebook, there was an advertisement for Bond TV, BAWN TV, and their latest show is called Conframa, where a married gay couple is starting to introduce a third party and becoming a throuple. And I was like, this should be on TV. So I watched the trailer. There's 4 episodes out, and I just have not had time to get to it yet. But shout out to Bond TV and their new show Conframa, because that is very real. A lot of gay couples explore opening it up. As we just discussed, RuPaul is opening it up down to the marriage. So go to bondtv.com/Conframa and check out the trailer.
Yeah, but we want to make sure the gay point of view gets on TV first.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot to say there. So look for that coming soon. It is now time for our favorite part of the show. If you guys also have alcohol available or are just going to do kombucha, that's fine.
I saw that at the Target today.
It's been at the Targets for a while.
No, but the one over here just opened like last week. So I was just walking around. I was like, okay, so what are the white people into? What are they looking at? What do they keep in stock? What are they selectively missing? And of course, you go down the hair care aisle, and there's the Shea Moisture section is, whew, all right. But over here where I am, I was just noticing what they were keeping in stock and not in stock. And the kombucha is there, but they didn't have no Faygo.
Get you some kombucha.
I didn't see any Kool-Aid either, no shade. Now that I think about it.
Get you some kombucha. Kombucha is really good. It's got a
Do
lot
they
of
drink Kool-Aid over here in this area?
I used to. Bitch, fuck you. But yeah, get you some kombucha. It is time for our last calls. And so again, if you have a shot ready, take a shot with us. We are going
Shout
to
out to
take
Memphis.
a shot.
I'm Memphis. You Houston. I got you the Houston shot glass. There you go.
Boots.
Guess, are you going to go first?
No.
You the most nervous top I ever seen. Woo.
My last call this week is to Tammy Roman. Tammy Roman has an episode of Uncensored.
It was
out.
really good.
And I think there was a section. There was a section on it where she talked about a fan seeing her on the train in her Real World days, back when she was on Real World, or right after.
92?
Or right after.
93?
And so the fan was like asking the question of, why are you on the train? Girl, you Tammy Roman. You was on Real World. Like, that means something.
That's so sweet. That's so sweet.
But I thought that her energy in her answer and her subsequent action was extremely important because her location was not her destination.
She was on the train, but she was going somewhere.
She was going somewhere.
She was going somewhere.
And she knew that. And so...
I just watched somebody's Uncensored that was so good, too. Okay.
And so she also... After realizing, that fan was right. I shouldn't be on the train. I should be in a Rolls Royce VIP something rolling up to my things. So she called VH1 directly herself and ended up getting herself cast on Basketball Wives, and now the rest is history. And we all know more of Tammy Roman, and she's a household name because she found herself in a place that she knew that she was not supposed to be in. I'm not supposed to be riding the train. There's nothing wrong with riding the train because she was riding the train to Wall Street. I'm sure she was making plenty of money on Wall Street, but she knew that that was not the place or the lane that she was in, and her location was not her destination. And I empower and implore all you guys to make the same assessments. If you're not supposed to be on the train, do everything to get out of the goddamn situation. That's my last call.
And she stays in Sugar Land, which is right outside of Houston. So my last call is to empower people that you don't have to mourn people who live their life as a homophobic person while they're alive. Though I definitely feel the pain of Nipsey Hussle.
I was going to say, this is about Nipsey Hussle.
It is, and I've been taking great strength to not say those words for a while.
Though I definitely do not want any person, especially a black and or black adjacent person, to die. You do not have to mourn people who hate you while they're alive. The unfortunate part is we get so comfortable with the idea of death because our lives are generally parallel to that of HIV. And for decades, HIV has been a death sentence, though it's not anymore.
It's not.
But the reality is we have internalized that as people, especially like millennials and shit, that our life relates to death. And so when someone dies, we automatically feel sympathy for them. But if bitches hate you while they're alive, you don't have to feel any type of way. Last call.
Ooh, that was heavy. We had some great conversation this week. I have to say that out loud. And I want you to come back next week because I am enjoying this.
I won't be here, but I love this. This is amazing. Thank you so much.
It's like great conversation. Everybody don't agree. And that is the point of it. The gay version of The View. Here go our co-host,
Megan McCain.
right here.
I'm Megan
McCain.
He already said he don't want Megan McCain on the show.
I don't want Megan McCain on the show, but I love you to
It's
be
very Megan McCain. Your job is to listen to me.
Sure, Jan. Sure, Jan. My last call this week. The Gay Professional Men of Color DC is an organization currently partnering, I wrote this down in my notes, Lord knows, pray for me. Currently partnering with student organizations at, what do they call it, post-secondary institutions? I was like, just say college. Or universities or whatever. And working with students who are juniors and seniors to provide them professional development, financial planning, and other networking opportunities. So the same way y'all use gang affiliation for all that other stuff y'all use gang affiliation for, aka alphas, kappas, and sigmas, and the purple ones, Qs. I love that we have our own group, the Gay Professional Men of Color DC. Go to their website, gpmcdc.org, for more information. They have a happy hour coming up this Thursday. When is April the 19th? Thursday or Friday? April the 19th at Brixton on U Street, where they'll be sharing more information about their organization, and I'm sure all of the people that they are mentoring will be there as well. And you can learn more about the Gay Professional Men of Color DC. That's my last call. I love it. I went to their website. It was so cute and well done. And the founder is a so-and-so, and he does so-and-so. And then you put, oh, look at the vice president. Oh, he got a second master's, and oh, wow. Professional men and gay. So I was like, wow, I lived.
Work. I hope they got the same Greek letters as Homecoming that's coming out on Wednesday.
Come on out.
Can't wait.
That is this week's episode of Here for a Podcast. Follow our guest, Ian L. Haddock, at The Normal Anomaly. And stay tuned for the Outcry docuseries coming soon. My name is Ronald Matters. Follow me on the internet at Ronald Matters. And of course, RonaldMatters.com.
I am still the Superman, TheSupaman, aka the Teenage Witch. Make sure you guys take your Truvada. Have a good night.
Oh, I gotta do that.
Bye.
Bye.